Oklahoma is a must-win for Tennessee, and the Vols will not make the college football playoff if they don't beat Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. Let's reset that as a poll question. Is the Oklahoma game a must-win? I have to be honest with you. I think Caleb's a little crazy. It's brought to you by Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank, member FDIC, life made better. Commercial Bank creates positive experiences for every customer every day with better solutions, better technology. Commercial Bank, personal and business. Commercial Bank, life made better. Caleb, this is not a must-win because I believe Tennessee can beat Alabama. I also believe that there's a possibility that Tennessee could get in the playoffs, although not likely, with a 9-3 record. But this is a must-win to you. Why?
Well, Tennessee, there's two reasons it's a must-win. One, Oklahoma's not that good. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's a really bad look for Tennessee if you run up the score on teams like Kent State and then you go and lose to a average team in Oklahoma on the road. It's a horrible look. And because then you look like you beat up on low competition, but you look like the guy. You look like a dude that hits a woman at that point. The saying of hitting a woman is people who hit a woman would never hit a man who hits a woman is a coward because you never see him hit another man. And not to get morbid, but that's if you run up the score on Kent State and lose to Oklahoma, that's what you look like. So there's that. So that will turn a lot of people off. Then there's not that many chances at quality wins. So if you lose to Oklahoma, Dave, I honestly think there's an argument that you have to beat Alabama and Georgia to get to the playoff. I mean, you can't get in with just one quality win.
Okay, well, let's take a look at go ahead and put it on the poll question. And that is the Oklahoma game a must win? I think you're going a little bit overboard here. I want to take a look at the strength of schedule. It doesn't look fantastic, but a lot of, like I was looking at Oklahoma's, a lot of those schedules don't look fantastic as Tennessee isn't the only team that plays a bunch of patsies. So Tennessee's strength of schedule, I think, will speak otherwise to what you're saying. Bank on it, brought to you by Commercial Bank. 30 seconds.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions. Commercial Bank, life made better.
All right, so my argument is that anyone that is in the SEC and goes 10-2 deserves to be in the playoffs. Now, we might have to split some hairs at some point down the line, but if you take a look at the strength of schedule for Tennessee, want to do that right now. Now, first of all, I do want to point out that Oklahoma has the second most difficult schedule in the nation. So I do wonder if they'll get up to play Tennessee knowing what's ahead of them. So, Caleb, what is Tennessee's strength of schedule for this upcoming season? It's not grand. It is not grand whatsoever. Do you have that pulled up yet?
I apologize. I'm restarting the poll question. Right now, there was a bit of technical difficulties on my end.
Yeah, you bounced out. Why did you leave us?
Because I hate you, Dave. No.
It's over. It's over. I just think I'd argue if you're in the SEC and you're 10-2, you're in. Would you disagree with that?
Yeah, I would disagree with that. There were 10-2 teams last year that if we had the college football playoff that would not have made it. Just being 10-2 in the SEC alone won't get you in because there won't. I mean, again, there's only so many. There are 7 wild card spots. So at most, there are 8 spots for the SEC team for the SEC to get in. Now, you and I both know they won't put 8 SEC teams in. I've said from the start they would put 5 SEC teams in. I think it's very possible 6 go 10-2, though. So it's hard for me to say 10-2 is an automatic get in for the SEC, particularly when, as of right now, that this could change. But there seems to be a clear tier in the SEC, doesn't there, Dave? So you could see a lot more teams to go 10-2 because there's such a gap between the top and the bottom right now this year.
Yeah, but there's going to be some upsets. Don't you think Kentucky's going to upset somebody, or do you think they played their best game last week against Georgia?
I mean, I think they could upset somebody, but I got to pull up the schedule to know who they could upset, because I can tell you this, it won't be Tennessee because they never beat Tennessee. But, I mean, who would they play that's an upset? You know what I mean?
My contention is this, Caleb. If you have a top 30, 40 schedule that you really shouldn't have schedule held against you. So Tennessee's 40, I would say even to the top 50. That'd be the top third. You don't know how good these opponents are going to be when you schedule them. I doubt they knew Kent State was going to be that bad. NC State, I don't think is going to prove to be very good this year. They didn't know that when they scheduled that game. So Caleb, with Tennessee with a strength of schedule at number 40, you're in the SEC. They're going, if they go 10-2, here's why I think they're in. And I think they can beat Alabama. So I'm going to disagree with you on the notion that this is a must win, because I think 10-2 with a schedule strength of 40 on face value, you're in. Now, if 8 teams go 10-2, which I don't think statistically could happen, then you were splitting hairs. But I would argue that at 10-2 with a schedule strength of 40, you're in.
Okay, but are we sure it'll be a schedule strength of 40? And what's the
That was preseason now, so that's fair.
Yeah, what's the standard for a schedule strength of 40? You're right. Preseason, I probably thought Tennessee would have about a 40 ring strength of schedule, but Dave, I'm not sure NC State's getting 6 wins this year after what I've seen from them for 3 weeks. That's no longer the Dave Doran program that goes for 9 wins a year and finishes in their top 25 and everybody's happy. That's a program that looks like it can go 5-7 or 4-8 in the ACC.
Agreed. And it's a program, too, that spends money. So Dave Doran might be looking for another job before too terribly long. Obviously, he's ranked this year. I don't think he's going to be in the hot seat, but they're spending a lot of money in basketball based off a source I talked to before that. So they're going to spend a lot of money in football. It's just a matter of time. So the poll question is?
The poll question is Oklahoma a must-win for Tennessee? And I think they're siding with me, Dave. 79% say yes, Oklahoma is average. 21% says no, they're a ranked team at home. Our fans, as always, know that I'm right and you're wrong.
All right. So I don't think this is a must win. Now, I guess I'm going to argue your side for a second. It's a must win in that I think Tennessee is a better team. It's a must win in the sense of Tennessee is riding so incredibly high right now that it wouldn't destroy recruiting, but you don't want that loss at this point of the season, right? You would rather lose down the line when those ties to your current commitments and potential commitments have been strengthened. That's from a recruiting perspective. You don't want that loss. You also don't want to look like you're second tier in the SEC when I think right now most people think you're first tier, depending on how many people you put in that first tier. So I think that would be incredibly negative for the Vols, no doubt about that. But I also wonder if Tennessee loses, it would be for one of a couple of reasons that I don't think is going to happen. One, Nico is not good on the road, which I don't think is going to happen. But Josh Heupel's offense hasn't been good on the road. So, Caleb, it would certainly raise that red flag, right?
That's the big red flag it would raise. It's another one is if they don't beat Oklahoma, we're going to start asking questions if Josh Heupel will ever have a good program on the road.
Okay,
raising more questions.
Two, if they lose to Oklahoma, we're going to ask ourselves, did those 12 defensive linemen get to play because they were such inferior opponents? Do they really go 3 deep? My eye test tells me that they've got about 10 guys that can play against Georgia and Alabama when it really matters. But it's the show me state. It's time to do it. It's Saturday. So I think we would have real questions about the quality depth at Tennessee's defensive line if they don't go out there and play well.
100%. 100%. And we think that Tennessee's the defensive line is something that we knew was good going in, though. We just didn't know it was that good. So that would raise some questions. And the pressure's on the defensive line to win this game, because whatever else you think about Nico Iamaleava, and I think he can light it up, I don't think anybody will freak out if he doesn't light it up tomorrow, because, again, Tennessee is playing a very, very good defense at the very least. Not only that, one that takes away the run game, and as we all know, that Tennessee's passing attack is not there in Heupel's system if they can't run the ball. So this is a real, real tough test for Nico. So this comes down to the defensive line being able to dominate in the trenches, and Oklahoma is wrecked on the offensive line. So there's absolutely no excuse for Tennessee to, again, I said this yesterday, and it's crazy, but I think Tennessee's going to go another game without allowing an offensive touchdown. And if they allow Oklahoma, Dave, to, let's just call it what it is. If they let Oklahoma score more than 21 points, there's a red flag, isn't there? Offensively.
Yes.
In meaningful.
Given their quarterback in Jackson Arnold, their issues on the offensive line, I think 21's a good number. I really do. I think 21.5, I would put it, that if Tennessee were to win this game 45-28, I would have concerns about Tennessee's offense or Tennessee's defense, because I think Oklahoma's offense is so incredibly average. So, yeah, you not only want to win, but you want to win and look really good defensively. The poll question stands at what, Caleb?
Poll question stands at, is Oklahoma a must-win for Tennessee? 52 votes. Now 54, but 76% say yes, average. 24% say no, they're a ranked team at home. All right. So again, I would like to applaud the message board for agreeing with me.